You're listening to The Girl in the Girly Dress Who Loved Drug Dealers, a comedic memoir with business wisdom by me. Chapter 5. The day I almost became an accidental accomplice. Let me start by saying this. I am not built for crime. I don't have the spirit for it. I don't have the nerves. I don't have the poker face. I don't even like lying when the cashier asks if I found everything okay. So the fact that I even got close to being accidentally involved in something illegal lets me know life was really testing me at that point. This was one of those days where nothing felt off until everything did. It started the way most questionable situations start, casually. "Come with me real quick," he said, already grabbing his keys. I was at his place. We'd been watching TV, smoking, relaxed. It was one of those lazy afternoons where time moved slowly and nothing felt urgent. "Where are we going?" I asked, more curious than concerned. "Just gotta handle something, won't take long." That phrase, "won't take long," should have been my first clue. But I was comfortable, trusting, already conditioned to just go along. So I got up, slipped on my shoes, grabbed my jacket, and followed him to the car. I was just tagging along, existing, being cute, minding my own business, probably thinking about a book I wanted to read later. Definitely not thinking about the fact that proximity alone can put you in situations you never signed up for. The drive was normal at first. We talked, laughed, listened to music. He seemed unbothered, relaxed even. But as we got closer to wherever we were going, I noticed his energy shift. Subtle, but there. He checked his mirrors more. His jaw tightened slightly. His hands gripped the steering wheel differently. And my intuition, quiet but persistent, started tapping me on the shoulder. "Pay attention." We pulled up to a spot I didn't recognize. Not residential, not commercial, somewhere in between. A few people were outside. They looked up when we arrived. Their faces registered recognition, but not warmth. Business faces. He parked, turned off the car, then looked at me. "Stay right here," he said, too casually. And that's when I knew, this isn't for me. I watched him get out, watched him dap someone up, watched them exchange a few words I couldn't hear. Then they went inside, and I sat there, alone, in a car, in a neighborhood I didn't know, watching strangers watch me. You know that feeling when your spirit taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, this isn't for you"? That. My body knew before my brain caught up. My shoulders tensed. My hands found the edges of my jacket and gripped. My eyes scanned the street, the people, the windows, the exits. I wasn't panicking, but I wasn't relaxed either. And there's a difference. Curiosity feels open, danger feels tight. This felt tight. He wasn't gone long, maybe 15 minutes, but it felt longer. When he finally came back out, he moved quickly, not frantically, just purposefully. He got in the car, started it immediately, pulled off without looking at me. No explanation, no debrief, no "sorry for making you wait," just movement. And I sat there quiet, trying to process what had just happened. Because technically, nothing happened. No cops, no chaos, no confrontation, but something had happened. I realized in real time that I was sitting, actually, one decision away from crossing a line I had no business near. Not because anyone forced me, not because anyone pressured me, but because I was present. And presence, I learned that day, is participation in some rooms, whether you speak or not. A few blocks away, he finally spoke. "You good?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "What was that?" He shrugged. "Just business." And I didn't push because I didn't really want to know. Plausible deniability felt safer than clarity in that moment. But later, much later, I would realize how dangerous that thinking was, because ignorance doesn't protect you. Proximity does the work whether you understand it or not. That night I went home, and I laughed about it nervously, the way you do when adrenaline wears off and reality settles in. I texted a friend, "I think I almost got caught up in some shit today, lol." She responded, "Girl, what?" And I didn't know how to explain it, because nothing technically happened, but I felt it. The weight of almost. The awareness that one different decision, one wrong turn, one unlucky moment, one cop car passing by at the wrong time, and my life could have changed. Not because of anything I did, but because of where I was, who I was with, what I was adjacent to. Later that night, sitting quietly high and very honest with myself, the lesson arrived fully formed. You need to know your lane and you need to respect it. That was bigger than relationships. That was life. Because I had spent years thinking being open-minded meant being available to anything, that adaptability was strength, that flexibility was maturity. No, discernment is maturity. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because someone you love can navigate a space doesn't mean you're meant to. I thought about all the times I'd been present for things I didn't fully understand. Conversations that stopped when I entered the room. Bags handed off in parking lots while I sat in the passenger seat. Phone calls taken in hushed tones while I pretended not to listen. Business that I never asked about because I didn't want to make things weird. And I realized I'd been playing a dangerous game, thinking that not knowing protected me, thinking that being quiet meant I wasn't involved, thinking that love exempted me from consequences. It didn't. Love doesn't cancel consequences, and liking someone doesn't mean you belong in their environment. Here's the business lesson hidden in that almost mistake. Staying in your lane is how you protect your future. You don't need to touch everything to learn from it. You don't need to be involved to be informed. Observation is often enough. I didn't need to be in those rooms to understand how those rooms operated. I could watch, I could learn, I could extract lessons, but I didn't need to be complicit, and the distinction between learning and participating was becoming clearer. In business now, this lesson shows up constantly when I'm offered opportunities that don't align with my values, when I'm invited into partnerships that feel risky, when I'm asked to compromise my ethics for profit, when I'm tempted to chase money in directions that don't serve my long-term vision. I think about that day, that feeling of sitting in a car, watching something unfold that I had no control over, realizing that proximity alone could pull me into consequences I never chose. And I ask myself, is this my lane? Not, is this interesting? Not, could I do this? Not, would this make money? But is this mine? Does this align with who I am and who I'm becoming? Because if it doesn't, if there's even a question, then it's not worth the risk. That day taught me something that would later shape how I run my business, choose clients, and protect my peace. I don't need access to everything. I need alignment with what's mine. And there are rooms I don't belong in, not because I'm not capable, not because I'm not curious, not because I'm not tough enough, but because those rooms aren't part of my path. And recognizing that, honoring that, is how I protect my future. He wasn't reckless with me, I'll give him that. He didn't try to involve me. In fact, looking back, he was protective. He moved quickly to remove me from anything directly questionable, and I appreciated that. But the message still landed. The responsibility was still mine. Because at the end of the day, I chose to get in the car. I chose to not ask questions. I chose proximity, and proximity is a choice. Marijuana that night wasn't celebratory. It was grounding. It helped me process without spiraling, helped me release the what ifs and land firmly in, okay, lesson received. I sat on my couch, joint in hand, staring at nothing, thinking, this is how people end up in situations they swear they never intended to be in. It's not dramatic, it's not intentional, it's incremental. One, come with me real quick at a time. One just business at a time. One moment of not asking questions at a time. Until suddenly you're sitting in a car, in a place you don't recognize, realizing you're 1 degree of separation from something you want no part of. And the only person who can protect you from that is you. For the first time, I felt gratitude, not for the chaos, but for the clarity. Nothing happened that day, but something shifted. I still cared about him, still admired parts of him, still loved his flavor, but the line between his life and my life was now visible. And once you see the line, pretending it's not there becomes impossible. This wasn't the moment I left, but it was the moment I started building the exit. Not consciously, not dramatically, but internally. A part of me, the part that had been quietly observing, quietly learning, quietly preparing, began to understand something fundamental. You can love someone and still know they're not safe for you. You can admire someone's world and still know it's not yours. You can learn from proximity without becoming complicit. And discernment, real, honest, self-preserving discernment, is not judgment. It's wisdom. And that day, wisdom arrived in the form of a near miss, a close call, a moment that could have gone differently, but didn't. And I walked away with the most important lesson I'd learned so far. Know your lane, respect it, protect it, because your future depends on it. Thank you for listening. If this chapter resonated with you, I'd love to hear how it made you feel. You can share your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to support this work, you can pre-order the book using the link in the comments.